to befriend. This interview is with a Finnish gentleman I'm glad to call Ystävä, Markus Sarelma. Welcome, Markus.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Good. So I'm learning phrases, as you know. So terve, right? So welcome. Tell us 5 facts about yourself that most people don't know from your childhood up through today.
Well, I'm sure there's lots of them, but I would say that first thing would be that I was born in one-parent family, should I say, and my mother was, well, like during that in the 70s and 80s, they were, very modest situation, very modest family.
Yeah.
Because she was single, and well, we got along over there. The second fact would be I was dreaming when I was 5. I was dreaming about doing the job I have actually been doing 25 years since
wow.
I saw one porridge commercial in Finland, and that was 5. I was 5 years old and I made that decision back then. And the third one was that I actually made the money, since we were poor, we didn't have any money over there. I desperately wanted to have a Nintendo. Remember those 8-bit Nintendos?
Yes.
And my friends, a couple of them friends I had, they had those, and I was so darn jealous. I'm not sure was it in a good way or a bad way, but anyway, I found the desire to collect pledge bottles.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, all the side of the roads, where people was, back then in those days, there was, I don't actually remember how much it was. Was it about 50 pennies and 1 mark bottles, or 150, something like that?
Okay.
And I was collecting them, and I was went to asking people, do you have any empty bottles? I can take them. And they gave me bottles, and I think it was in 3 months I did buy that Nintendo.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And the one fact is that I was bullied in school, and that's well, you know what that is. Being alone in 2,500 people, and it feels like everybody's against you, but yeah. But I managed it, and here we are. No, not using any drugs or such, unless you calculate, wine to that. So
yeah,
that's it.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I guess was that 4th fact? I guess.
Yes, that's the 4th one. One more.
Yeah,
These
one more.
Interesting, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. Well, another one, the 5th one, would be that I got my so-called CDL in Army, because I had a mission in my head that I'm going over there and pick up the card over there, and I actually did. I was actually in artillery unit at first.
wow.
First 3 days, and then the transportation people came and made some interviews. About 700 plus me was interviewed, and they picked 3, and I was one of those.
Wow.
And yeah, so it wasn't only in my company, but there was also other companies. So about 700 they interviewed, and they picked me and 2 other people as well. So that story started like that, and then I turned my 180 days to 362 days in Army, and for getting the license and taking the school and such in there,
right,
for driving. And kind of like, should I say, tapping into this gave me knowledge how to drive in off-road conditions, with the truck. No matter if it's one drive axle over there or all 2, 3, whatever.
Very good.
Yeah.
Next thing I want to talk about is your career. So tell us about your career. Anything that you want to share with us?
Well, like I said, I got the license from the army. Back in the day, there actually wasn't such a CDL like in nowadays. It's of course European equivalent, but anyway, got the license over there. So I had another occupation. I'm also a metal man.
Okay.
So I was making the asphalt plant parts, where they put the masses, they make the asphalt mass
Right.
to spread to the tarmac over there. I was building those through 2 months actually, and my first trucking company work truck came over there. I mean, my associated since that came loading parts, and I was asking the guy, the driver, do you have any chance to get me for work over there? Do you have any do you have any idea
Openings.
how would I? Yeah. Well, we might need, since summer is coming, we might need some people over there. And I'm telling this because of it's an amazing story how I got into it. The guy gave me, he was a humoristic guy. He told me that I have 3 advices for you. You go ahead and look right in the eye, the boss, and then tell the truth, and then squeeze the shit out of his hand. And that's how I got into business. I got the job from there, and I was 4.5 years over there. So learning lots of things, how to drive and box cars, flatbeds, whatever. And since that, I have been driving. I've been in local trucking, and of course my trucking is always been in Finland, of course, but we have longer distances and shorter. So been doing that for past 25 years in different ways, driving semi trucks, multi-trailer trucks, and so-called full-size, like we call it in Finland, full-size trailer combination, and been driving different kind of machinery, forklifts, you name it, knuckle boom cranes. Since I was in one company which was building bridges and repairing them. So there was needed lots of things, machinery, trucks, and walls, which is paving.
Yes.
Paving the tarmac. I mean the foundation for the tarmac and such. And yeah, that's my career. Very squeezed.
So. Very condensed. So
very
how did you get into, this is part of your career, so how did you get into the heavy machinery, the tractors and these different machines that do these different functions? Was it just a natural ability that you, in one job you just started learning these skills and then just kept growing them? How did that work?
Well, there was a need, and I'm a fast learner, so somebody shows me the handles and how they move, and then I start to use them. Basically, that's that. I educate myself, or the work educates. So that's how we did it.
So isn't that a Finnish saying, the work teaches the worker, or something like that?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Awesome. Through the years, I've gotten to know you and talk with you. I find it very interesting how you have a great command of the English language. Obviously, from talking with you, I know Finnish is your native tongue, right? But you learned English. Tell us how you did that.
Well, uh, if I go right in the beginning, I have been listening. Of course, we have a one um, how would I say, one foreign language which you has to learn in school.
Hmm.
I chose English, and of course that gives you a little bit of this and a little bit of that, but you cannot talk. You're not be able to talk with it or even write with it.
Yeah.
But it gives you a little clue. And as you know, in Finland, every single movie or TV series are subtitled. So I have been listening all my life English language, and suck the pronunciations and such, and watching subtitles, and okay, this word means this and that. But even that didn't give me the ability to talk it. But 2011, I got my actually it was yeah I took the test in November of 2011, and I got my license January 4th, or was it 2nd? Anyway, 2012 for ham radio.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, and back then, since the radios are very expensive, I didn't have a chance to buy any radio. But I bought my first smartphone, which was a Samsung Galaxy S2 back then, and I downloaded software which is called Echolink. Echolink with Echolink you can get from your smartphone or from your computer to other links all over the world over the internet. And on the other end, there is usually uh, some kind of VHF, UHF radio connected to the computer,
Hmm.
so that it gives you ability to talk via the VHF or UHF handheld radio to your computer, which is spreading the signal through the nodes all over the world. And there is you also people has been, since we have had ages this uh, at least 3G connections even in US. So there was the truckers who had these setups in their trucks, like Danny. His call sign was K5DJS from Texas, actually. Uh, uh, I was talking with Danny and and a few other people all over my work day, about at least 8 hours, sometimes even 10 hours. Started from the small talk and started to asking and watching. Back then we had a dictionary which you could upload to your phone.
Okay.
Like today, of course, you have a Google Translator now, but back then there was a dictionary, and I downloaded that, and I was looking at those words during my work if I was driving, and I was asking, and by circling, you know, how would I say? I don't even remember the. Like I said, I'm not perfect with the English yet, but I felt that back to about 10 years ago, since I was speaking 2 3 years, I think I was at my top because I was speaking every single day English. So maybe I'm not that good anymore. But but
Well, I
anyway,
think you are. I think
well,
you are. No, that's good. So you talked about, using your phone and then ham radio and then Denny. So do you still keep up with Denny?
I haven't spoke Danny. Well, I think it was 6 months ago since I spoke Danny previously.
Okay.
I haven't used the Echolink because it's time for everything,
Yes.
and yeah, you have to reduce to give time for something else. So yeah. In 2019, I was in US and visiting, and I saw Danny, and I saw a couple of other guys over there, and we were, all wetting our eyes, we could, because like ham radio enthusiast has the saying, we are not strangers, we are just friends who have never met. So
I like that.
yeah, so I was visiting over there with my father, and I saw these guys, and we, there was lots of emotions in the air. So there you go.
That's awesome.
So that's how I conquered English.
So one of the things, this is a side note here, but one of the things I've learned about you and then some other Finns that I've come to know, and again, it's the theme of this interview, getting it done. So whatever means you had, you took those means, those resources, and if you didn't have them, you found them, right? The hunter-gatherer, right? I'm going to hunt, I'm going to gather, I'm going to address this need or this want, and I keep going, right?
Yeah,
I really
yeah.
think that's fascinating. And, I want to kind of lead that into the segue for the next section, right? Getting it done, get it done, right? So I'm going to be reading from here only because I don't want to stumble over myself here. So the past few years, we've become more acquainted with each other, and I've seen your innovative boat dock installation on video. That was awesome, right? And then the anchoring of that. And then your semi truck backing a tandem or maybe a triple trailer into perfect position to the dock area. That was amazing. Your interaction with the reindeer. You're driving this huge truck and then you slow down, roll down the window, and you speak softly to the reindeer, right? And then, you know, it just thinks, okay, I'm just thinking, get it done. How does he do that? So, like anything that you set your mind to, you accomplish it. Okay. One thing I've learned in studying Finnish culture, people, and being fascinated with Finland is sisu. And in my mind, it's sheer determination, unwavering commitment to complete the task. Something else or a combination. How do you do these things, right?
Well, you're right. All what you said about Sisu, but there is one thing, one little niche more, and that's so Sisu is all of those things, those ingredients, but there's one more ingredient, and that's what I have to add is an attitude, a decision to not ever, never give up whatever you have in your mind. So that's only a thing which I have to add on it. And yeah, that's something I think some Americans like yourself has been, who has Sisu has introduced, is getting, it's like you have the guts. It's the same thing, kind of
Yes.
like, yeah. It's a feeling, one feeling over here, and then it goes up here, and when they unite, you're invincible. You conquer whatever you were doing. So that's the thing. How you do, and about the boat, uh, the boat dock or whatever it was. We just needed to anchor it over there, and that was one solution. It wasn't the best, but best what we could use for that thing, which my father and me and my father's friend were building over there. So because we have to take it always up, you cannot, because the ice is throwing everything back to the shore. So it should be it should keep storms, stopping from storms taking the the boat off
Yes.
from there, but then it has to be able to take it on the shore before the winter comes. And yeah, and about reversing those double trailers. That's
Yes.
you cannot imagine which kind of amount of training it requires. Of course, I'm over there. I was also a fast learner, but when I was first time I was reversing them, the owner came with me and started to teach me and turn there, no, turn right, left, and this and that. Then he hopped off and go outside and tried to manage my driving. I said, please be quiet and watch, watch, watch that I don't hit anything. That's my
Yeah.
purpose to say.
Hmm.
And when he stopped talking, it took only 5 minutes to get me the first time the back trailer to the docks.
Wow.
So there you go. You just need to because there is a 2 or 3 joints, and I have used it. In normal semi trailer has a 1 joint,
Right.
and our full size combination has 2 joints. So
Yes.
when there's third, goes like backwards.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I needed to manage that, and still, I haven't been driven that over a year. So if I would right now go back to behind the wheel, it will require some practice again,
Right.
because it's a my processor, as probably anybody else's processor, would be overclocked over there. So, and
Yeah.
about the reindeer, I have to say that I'm good with people. I'm good with animals, and I have a soft voice, as you probably hear.
Yeah.
And yeah, that reindeer I was coming right, to the, how would I say it?
Parallel to the
Yeah,
reindeer.
parallel with them. There was actually 2, but which you don't see. You saw in the end of the video the other one, but
Right.
but the first one, I said, yeah, please, wouldn't you mind if you go the left, and told your buddy also to go to the forest. We don't need you on the tarmac. So
Yeah.
and some unimaginable way, he or she believed me, because they're very stubborn animals. They don't go anywhere even if you're honking them.
Hmm.
So anyway, then he or she stopped. I mean, taking the jogging a little bit slower, and there it was so weird experience even for myself.
I showed my family that, and we all loved it. It was almost like a Disney movie, but in real life, like, and then you're talking with the animal, and the animal kind of looks up like, "Hey, what's up?" And then they stop and listen, and like, "Oh, okay." I'll kind of swing to
Yeah,
the side. That's
yeah,
awesome. That's awesome.
yeah,
One thing you shared that is really neat is, in addition to having this need, or getting it done, you have to have a open, how do I say this, an open perspective, where you're willing to learn, you're willing to get feedback, right? Some
yeah,
people are just so stubborn they just run into the wall, but
yeah,
instead of running the wall, you stop and they're guiding you around the wall, right?
yeah. Been studying. We're a little bit going to the side about the topic, but like religions and such, every people, uh, they of course they got taught during the childhood and the age about the religions, and where what to, or which thing you believe, whatever. Yeah, of course
Yeah.
you have to believe yourself, but you have some higher power, of course. But I have been studying different kind of religions and beliefs, and the and overviewed different kind of, yeah, these things, and I have picturing in my mind how I'm I'm not kind of like, I'm not such a religious person, but I have my own thing. How would I say? I have formed my own belief, not belief system, but I believe something. There's something, we are not, this is not a sudden case that we just happen to be here. And yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. So,
Yeah, no, it sounds like what I'm gathering is that you're beginning to have an understanding
oh, exactly.
of
That's
of
what I,
the the
yeah,
the, the greater picture.
yeah.
Yeah.
For myself, understanding, if it's not, if somebody thinks it's not understanding, so be it. But it's, for me, it's understanding.
Yeah.
So that's the thing.
That's awesome. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your LinkedIn profiles. We first connected on LinkedIn, and it's almost what I consider the modern day pen pal program. Like
Yeah.
we become pen pals, sending messages and asking questions. And one of the things I saw in your LinkedIn profile, and I'll quote, it says, and this is about you, skilled in information search. I dig into the task as a rabbit into its hole, and I won't come out until I find what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
That made me smile. It made me laugh. And I thought, that is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So, give us your favorite example that comes to mind of a rabbit like pursuit.
Yeah. As we were talking about the ham radio before over there, this example comes into my mind, which is uh, our local clubs was wondering, because we have to they we have had every single ham radio club has their own repeater, which is covering the VHF net, creating VHF network over the city. And
Okay.
they have used to be in the water, what the heck it is, water towers. Yeah. And but the water company, after 9/11, they started to make regulations that this and that, we need to take off everything which could create risk or make it possible to somebody to go, when they go for a visit for the radios over there, they have the keys to the water tower, and they could drop something which doesn't belong to the water,
Yes.
if they open the wrong door. So they wanted us to go away. So we had a situation that we needed a new tower where to put the repeater, and we have in Turku one tower, which is the Pääskyvuori tower, and that tower, by the way, was built for our army, and through that tower, uh, Moscow, Washington made their phone calls. They had a red line through that tower.
Oh, wow.
So anyway, but it's not in use anymore in that particular use. Uh, but when army started to sell their real estate off, and they started to make it not public, but to privatize them, uh, I think it was sold to operator, a Finnish operator, Sonera. But the Sonera itself, the phone company, actually Sonera was Tele before that, and that
Okay.
was also government company. But both of those things was, I think they were privatized, and nobody actually, when there was different kind of deals, who sold this, that, and this and that, different packages of real estate, and
Yes.
nobody actually knew back then, when I was starting to dig into this problem, that we don't have a place for this repeater. And I solved, because who the hell is, I'm sorry, who is owning this building, I mean, to get the permit for getting our things over there. And I found the answer finally from the Helsinki, and it's actually a Swedish-owned company which owns the tower, sort of. I guess I'm not sure still, but they were controlling it anyway. And I made dozens of phone calls, and I went to make a presentation about what we do and what we want to get over there. And I used 1.5 days to call phone calls to know who is controlling it, and then another day to visit Helsinki to make a presentation what we want to do with it and do over there. And third day went to find out who has the key over there because they didn't know in Helsinki who is managing the tower and the
So was it kind of like
machinery
this?
over there. Yeah, it's or this
We
and
don't
that,
know.
Yeah, yeah. But it was, I felt I was like some kind of private detective, and I kind of like I was excited. Excited about it. So that's my favorite. There is lots of them, and well, I would say another quick example is when I was driving in my first company,
Mm-hmm.
Transmore. There was two places. There was in Turku was dispatchers, which was picking up stuff from locally and dispatching them to the Åland Islands. And in Åland Island was another dispatcher. Actually, there was two or three, but anyway, who was managing. One was managing Helsinki, Åland Islands traffics, and one was the north. But every time you had to go to the Åland Islands if you were outside of Turku. And I had multiple things, multiple times I had to tasks where I get from the dispatcher, you have to get something from somewhere. Basically, it was like that,
Yeah.
And then I heard where it's going. Okay, it's some kind of iron because it was the local iron store or whatever, whereas, construction stuff and
Right.
that. I was once I actually drove 100 miles the wrong direction because the company was in early days over there. And from there, I was asking this company, actually, I don't know the company name, but this company, they're supposed to be making some kind of wood equipment or whatever. Yeah, that they moved 5 years ago to there. I said, okay. Then I go there. Then I go there in that place. I didn't find the company. I was asking one guy was wandering over there on the streets about the firm. Yeah, you mean this company? And he gave me another name because they have sold the company and changed the name. And then I found the place where to find the wood, which I would take back. So there's a multiple of this kind of tasks.
So you told us about being rabbit-like, chasing down all the answers to make things work, to get it done. Again, it's that thing, get it done. Tell us about your company. Tell us the name of your current company, what services you offer, and do you offer consulting to foreign parties that are interested?
Yeah, if I would say pronounce it like Finnish, it's amleras or amleras in English. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, basically that name is because I wanted to make it quick and I was wondering what the heck would the name because everything most likely would be taken anyway. So I wouldn't like to fiddle with that too long. So okay, I will put this and just checked if it's available and yeah, it was, of course. There was only one Instagram profile with that and nothing else. So I dared to put it up. So And basically how it was, I was um, like I was in work life. Basically, I have been very um, how would I say? I'm on the company usually. I put company forward my own needs or even my family needs, which is wrong. But basically, I have been giving everything, and whenever you stop doing that, you're you're a pity man. You're evil, and you're such this and that, you know. And I was, you know, as I have been doing multiple works and changing companies because of I wanted to do different kind of things and there was a chance and this and that etc whatever. The bosses has been sometimes very evil, you know, and that led. I don't want to describe that you know too much, but I would say that I found myself in the situation that I need to build up because I don't want to be anybody's whore anymore, should I say. I want to do, yeah, so to speak. So I spent 5 weeks when I quit the last paycheck job. I was in 5 weeks at home and I found my company, wondering what the heck I was starting to do. Well, I was starting to think that, you know, like I might do this staffing, you know, being the spare man in the trucking industry, and it started from there. And I'm still doing it, staffing, you know, hopping in different. That's basically hopping in different uh, trucks and excavators and whatever for different companies, doing week, 2 weeks, months, through months, couple months of work for their company when there is need.
Okay.
And but you cannot do it, you know. You can do it, but it's on the gray area in the Finnish taxation. Can you do it or not? Because
Right.
some people thinks that it's you're trying to circulate the taxes and try to avoid taxes. So I wanted to do something else. So I was thinking, what should I do? I have this hobby, this radio hobby, and well, since I was driving a construction truck and I was listening in where we were going to pick up the gravel, and you need the CB radio over there, and I was listening that people over there, you know, loading the gravel, they were calling people, and some people hears them, some people not. Then they were speaking bad about each other. That your bloody radio doesn't work. So would you do something for it? And I said, yeah, there might be a chance, you know, some kind of niche to go. And I started to offer this service to fix up the radios. And I started that and selling up radios also, CBs and VHF, UHF radios, handhelds and mobiles. And well, I needed, you know, since we had only one card, either my wife needed it and I had to take my gear off and she used it. And when I took the gear back, I usually went to the site and I went, oh, well, I will need that particular tool or antenna, and I'll go, oh shit, it's back, it's in home. I started to get bored with it, and I needed some kind of van, you know, so that the stuff can be over there. And then I started to think that, you know, it would be nice if that van has some kind of other feature, you know, where you could use for it. And I found that I actually had made about a year before that a decision that I will never ever drive a pilot van or pilot car. I don't know why I did make the decision. then I came across with this van which I actually have now. I bought it and I geared it and I took the courses for the piloting. Started to do that, It's not that big yet, but because it's very, very there's lots of competition in that area, so it's hard to be over there. But maybe one day I will conquer it one way or the another. That's I could, well, if not writing a book about it, how competitive that is, I at least could tell a few stories, but it's not now.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, basically that's what I'm doing now, and I'd like to be. There's so much. I was actually, by the way, I have to say one thing. I saw one video on TikTok that when you know if you feel this or that, you're a generalist, and all those things is the same. It was like talking about my life, you know. There's so much of things I would like to do that it feels sometimes that I cannot do anything because I have plenty of things to do, which I
Yes.
would like to do. But yeah, uh, I'd like to be seen through the piloting because I really do like it. It's very nice job. I think it's you know, it's very responsible. You have lots of responsibility to piloting those heavy equipment across the nation over there. So
Yeah, I visualize it like you're literally shepherding as a shepherd would his sheep, right? All the
yeah,
way to their destination, make sure the people and the equipment or the trailer, whatever, it all gets there safe and sound, you know. I think
yeah,
that's pretty cool. You know, one of the topics that or thoughts that came to mind is like, hey, do you do international consulting? That came to mind when I was recalling a few years back when North Texas, where I live, had a crazy ice storm, and we had at least 6 inches of solid ice on the road. And I was taking our oldest son to work, and somehow we started talking, right? And I'm like, oh, I don't know how to drive through this stuff. And then you just automatically, again, it's like that shepherding, that teaching, that coaching moment. You just naturally said, okay, you want to do this, you know, and you're asking me a few questions. Okay, you want to adjust here, you adjust your speed, you want to look out for this. But it wasn't, I mean, it was just right when I needed it. It was like you could see what I was doing. And we were just talking by audio, right? Through my Bluetooth in my car. And so I thought, how cool would that be? And maybe you do something like that already, but that just resonates in my mind. Your heart for just looking out for people, right? You talked about being good with people and being good with animals. It's just like you just naturally help people, right? So do
yeah,
you
that's
see any
true.
international work coming into your company somehow?
Well, I would like to see, you know, I really do. Uh, Maybe I'm too modest, but I think I have been always thinking that I'm not such a uh, coach, but I would like to teach. You know, it's tickling me kind of like it's because I remember that case when you were driving over there and you had a icy roads over there, and it was because it's natural for me, but it's natural for you, not unnatural for you. So
Very unnatural.
maybe we should take some kind of courses over there, but build up about some kind of example or whatever, because always, you know, during that latitude, there's a possibility sometimes, very, you know, unrare and occasional, but still the chance to have icy road over there. So
Yeah, you know, and just and I would say, I think I could safely say we're friends, right? But this is the point where I don't want you to be modest. Just tell people like I'm going to do this. I can do this. I see myself doing this. You know. So, what kind of international opportunities would you look for?
well, I'd like to teach the things I can do, like about driving, like on ice. That's a very good thing. You could use that you could use advices almost anywhere in the world except in Sahara. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But and general thing. I think I remember one phone call we had, and you were saying to me that how the hell you can know these things. I don't even remember what was the topic, but I was said, it's natural over here. We has to. There's lots of things in Finland you has to know so that you can manage your life. So that's the thing. Maybe you don't know everything, but it's kind of like comes from the spine, that you have to have a winter tires, or how you drive in winter. You have to go slow and do slow movements. And yeah, I'd like to be questioned. I'd like to be asked about those things, and about driving, and possibly maybe about sauna, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, but you have Justin Jontunen over there in Minnesota, in Duluth. You probably know him from the LinkedIn. He knows almost everything about sauna already. I actually I commented on one, yeah, when they were dipping their sauna boat first time to the Great Lake. I said that I will come over and for the steams. He was welcoming me, but I don't know when that happens. But I'd like to be, well, maybe I'm crazy, but I would say that I would like to give nice Finnish advices for the big boys, people who needs them and pays me lots of money from them.
Yes. So we talked about your company. We talked about your professional experience, getting to know you some. Uh, for those that will be listening. So for fun. So you talked about ham radio, and that it seemed to just opened up a network or a plethora of opportunities to learn, to be passionate about. For fun, is it just ham radio? Is there anything else you want to share?
For fun, well, ham radio is my fun, but for fun, I'm also educating my dog. You can find, by the way, videos from that.
Yes.
And yeah, and I'm also for fun. I'm riding motorcycle. I have a wannabe Harley Davidson, which is Kawasaki Vulcan 1500. And for fun, I'm actually trying. I mean, filming things and editing things like these videos from the dog, and flying drone for fun. I have one. So there's lots of things which I sometimes even unite. And I like about, that's my new thing. Like I said, I have plenty of things to do, but I'm still wondering what would be my purpose. I'm still trying to find. That's why I'm full of ideas, full of things, because I'm searching my purpose. Maybe this is the purpose. Maybe we will make another video, or maybe video series to give advices, or local opinions. Yeah, local
Yeah,
opinions.
I like that. It's very good. Very good. So for those interested in contacting you, what's the best way to do it? And is it just online or phone call? How do people reach you when they need you?
Well, you can go for web pages, amleras.fi, and you can find my information over there. Email and phone call, or even LinkedIn is a good options.
Okay, awesome. And we'll have the links posted for this as well. So I want to say thank you so much, Marcus, for making the time out of your busy schedule to talk with me, to be on video, to record this, and to show us how to get it done the Finnish way.
Thank you.